So let me start this video off with a little disclaimer. You do not have to be in a relationship if you don't want to. Don't let any woman, don't let any man, don't let your parents force you or convince you that you should be in a relationship if you don't want to. Unfortunately, in our society, if you're not in a relationship, people try to make you feel bad or weird or what's wrong with you, when the reality is that for a lot of people, it's a conscious choice to be by yourself. But I know that there are a lot of you out there that want to be in a relationship. You've looked for them, maybe you've tried dating a little bit and it hasn't worked out. Today, I'm gonna go over some brutally honest reasons why it hasn't and why it probably won't unless you fix you. Number one, your standards are too high. A lot of people that find themselves perpetually single is because of the fact that they have an unrealistic expectation of what somebody should be like. And when they get into a relationship, the truth is that everybody has flaws, everybody has issues. But when you go into a relationship thinking that somebody needs to be perfect or else they're not right, is going to leave you ultimately unfulfilled and looking for somebody else. But on the flip side, the second reason is also an issue, and that is your standards are too low. If you'll literally date like anybody who expresses interest or will sleep with you, this is a huge problem. You're gonna be, once again, unfulfilled. You're also gonna date a lot of pigs. And I'm not saying pig in terms of like physical appearance, but these people aren't good enough for you. If you'll date or sleep with anybody who expresses interest or anybody that's like, yo, I think you're awesome, right? And even if they're not like technically good enough for you, you'll be like, yo, whatever. Because your self-esteem isn't high enough and you don't feel that you deserve better. Brings me to number three, your self-esteem is too low. And this one I see because I look at social media and I can tell that a lot of you don't have high standards for yourself. And you don't feel good about yourself. Until you fix you, you're never gonna be right for somebody else. You can have the most perfect woman, but until you have done the deep work, until you have fixed you, you're never going to make it work. Because you're always gonna be self-sabotaging. And that's something that I did. I'm literally like the king of self-sabotage. I was until I actually went to therapy. But ultimately, I just wasn't happy with me, and I had a lot of issues that I had to deal with. Some of them were from my childhood, some of them were actually past relationships, because that's another thing that will keep you single, and that is pulling your past relationships forward, or I should say, making your current relationship pay for the mistakes of your past girlfriend. And that's something else that I did. I basically had a girlfriend that cheated on me. I didn't have the ability to stand up for myself because my self-esteem was so low, and I ended up questioning other women that I would date and be like, oh, you're probably cheating on me too. And the truth is that this is one of the most self-destructive and self-sabotaging behaviors you can actually do and possess in a relationship. And that is a lack of trust because of something else somebody else did. Guys, if you are ready to finally put to bed the issues that you're struggling with or get right with you so that you can finally move forward and find that special person that is right for you, I want you to hit that special link down below and go see today's video sponsor, BetterHelp. So I've used therapy multiple times in my life. Whenever I'm struggling or I just need somebody to talk to that's gonna give me helpful, unbiased advice, I go see a therapist. I've also used BetterHelp, and the thing that I love so much about them is that they're going to connect you with a licensed therapist that is trained to listen and then give you helpful, unbiased advice. The way that it works is super easy. Getting started, super simple. There's a link down below this video. All you do, go to betterhelp.com/alpha-m. You're going to answer a few questions, and then BetterHelp is going to connect you with your therapist that has years of experience helping other people with situations and issues just like yours. And then you're going to get matched with a therapist usually within 48 hours so you can get started fast. And then you can have therapy any way you want it, whether or not it's through your phone or through your computer. You can do a phone call, you can do messaging, you can do video chat. Whatever way is most comfortable and convenient for you, that's the way you can do it. There literally is no easier way to talk to a therapist. Guys, the truth is this. You don't want to date somebody that's got a bunch of baggage. You don't want to date somebody that's got daddy issues or is like a disaster, and neither does she. Do the work now so you can find somebody, connect, and have an amazing relationship. If you are ready to let BetterHelp help you feel amazing and get in the right headspace and deal with your issues, I want you to hit that link down below. It's betterhelp.com/alpha-m. Or when you're signing up, choose my channel name, Alpha M, when you're signing up to get a special discount on your first month of therapy. Do it now. Don't wait. Start today. Communication is the next thing we got to talk about. If you are bad at communicating or expressing yourself or dealing with issues with somebody, there's no way you're ever going to be in a healthy relationship, because relationships are hard. Good ones are hard, bad ones are hard, they're all hard. But one of the things that separates the good from the bad is your ability to communicate with somebody else and actually talk through issues. If you don't argue well or you shut down when you get into an argument, it's never going to work. If you explode or she explodes and it's something that's super destructive and then you just go like low blow, and you're a slut and this and that, never going to work. You've got to be able to talk through and deal with issues as they arise like adults. And one of the biggest components to communication is vulnerability, being vulnerable. And if you're not, and you're somebody that puts up a wall or never is comfortable, basically just letting down their guard, you're never truly going to find that person, because it is impossible to have a happy, healthy relationship if you're not vulnerable or willing to potentially get hurt. You've got to be willing to risk it. And that's another thing that's keeping you single, and that is your inability to risk getting hurt. I know that it sucks. I know that when a relationship doesn't work out or somebody, finds out that you're not perfect, you're worried, right? You're worried that it's not going to work out and that she's going to dump you, or finally realize that you're not this like mystical, magical unicorn that maybe you think that she thinks. It's not that way. You've got to be willing to be vulnerable. You've got to be willing to put yourself out there. You've got to be willing to possibly get your heart stomped on, because if you don't, you're never truly going to find somebody that's connecting with you in a way that you need to connect with. A few other things that unfortunately might be hard for some of you to hear that are keeping you single is you're nasty. In terms of your grooming, your hygiene. If you don't take care of yourself, do you actually think that some respectable spicy senorita is going to want to date you? The answer is no. If your style is whack, the answer is no. You've got to take pride in your appearance and your personal presentation. You can't be a savage. You can't be a slob. The next thing is you can't be broke. Now, I'm not saying you got to have a lot of money. That is not what I said. I said you're broke, meaning you don't have a plan to get unbroke. If you're a financial disaster, you are very unattractive to somebody that's got their shit together. And I'm telling you that from somebody that's been there, done that, got the financial t-shirt. I dated a woman that was a mess financially. Super sassy, beautiful, all that good stuff, but she had a ton of debt. She wasn't financially responsible. She didn't really hold down a job. She also was pretty emotionally immature, which is something else we got to talk about in a second. All right, but she was a financial disaster. I don't want to saddle her burden, because the truth is, if somebody's not good with their money, they're not going to be good with your money. You've got to be and have financial discipline. You've also got to live below your means, and you've got to have your shit together. It might not mean that you can basically go out and buy tons of lavish gifts, but it's not about that. It's about being responsible and stable. That should be the goal. Bringing it back to emotional immaturity. If you're somebody that is just generally immature, you act like a little boy, you don't have any discipline, you're never going to find the one, because the one is going to find somebody better that's actually disciplined. The next thing is commitment. You lack it. Commitment is basically taking away alternatives and giving yourself 100% to somebody. Even if it breaks your heart, even if it doesn't work out, you're committed. A lot of you that think the grass is spicier on the other side of the fence, or something better is going to be coming along. And so what happens is you don't ever give yourself completely or fully to the person that you're actually with. And this mindset, this lack of commitment, is going to devastate and ultimately derail any potential good relationship. If you've got the mentality that you're always looking for something else, something better, then fine, have that mentality and enjoy your single life. Sleeping with a bunch of people, never being fulfilled, never finding the one, never truly being satisfied because you think something better is coming along. The truth is, the one that you're with right now is the one you should be committed to, and the one that you should be exploring and giving yourself to. Because if you don't, you're never truly going to find that special person. And the other reality is, some of you are just not cut out for relationships. You're not built for it. If you're a cheater, this is a sign you're not ready for it. You probably need to deal with you. If you're somebody that isn't secure in who they are, you've got low self-esteem, no way it's ever going to work out. If you think somebody's going to be perfect, and because they're not perfect, they're not good enough for you, also another red flag that you are the problem. The fact is, gentlemen, finding an amazing woman or man or whoever you're in a relationship with is one of the best, most amazing things you can possibly do. I can tell you from experience, I've been in shitty relationships and I've been in an amazing relationship. And my relationship with my wife has allowed me to be a better man. It has allowed me to flourish, and it has allowed me to live my best life. And that's what the upside is, to finding that perfect person. But if you're self-sabotaging, it'll never happen.